Hello and welcome back to the garden. And it's been a couple of weeks, and that's mainly because of the weather. We've had very wet weather. That's what happens when you have a mild winter here in Northumberland. You do get an awful lot of rain and the ground is just saturated. So I've been limited to what I could actually achieve over the last couple of weeks. One thing I did get done is, as you've seen earlier in the video, is to cut back these two huge laurel shrubs. And the intention is to grow a hedge here because obviously they've got the drop down to the lower quarry behind them. So I've cut them back and it'll take a few years before they look anywhere near decent, but it's a start. So let me turn the camera around and show you what this space looks like now before we move on into the white garden. So that's the shrubs I've cut back. Excuse the rather large ladder. Obviously we need that for all the hedging. And I've trimmed back about a third of the brambles now. Still a lot to go. So I'll bring you back in the next couple of months every time I make any progress in here. It's now off to the white garden. So the first winter job, early spring job that I'm going to try and do today is dig out these Buxus balls because they've died. They do not like the wet here in my garden. The white garden is a sunken garden. It's quite low down and it's surrounded right the way around by the house and hedges, tall hedges and trees. And once this garden actually gets wet, it takes a long time to dry out. And the Buxus balls are plants that just do not like the wet here in my garden. And I'm going to give up on them. I've tried. I started off with 10. I dug out a few from behind me here last year and they've moved somewhere else and they've recovered. These ones, unfortunately, the ones at the front are completely dead. This one here is a good one still. Got a bit dead growth on the side, but that will recover. So that one will come out. This one here is nearly far gone, too far gone as well. So I'm going to dig them out. The plan is to prune back 2 Annabelle hydrangeas either side here, and I'm going to move them to here, into that spot. And one of the main reasons why I'm doing that is because this huge bamboo is going to come out over the next couple of weeks. It's something that we've been putting off over the last few years. I do like it and it's actually performed really well, probably too well, but it's now just started to spread a little bit too far. I think it's broke through the barrier that I actually had in there to prevent the runners coming through. So it does need to come out. So that's going to be a big job. I'll try and capture some of that on video too. But today, the biggest job today is to get these Buxus balls out, prune back the Annabelle hydrangeas, and I've got another rhododendron to plant too. So let's make a start. Right, so that's 3 of the Buxus balls removed. Still got this one at the back to take out. Don't quite know where I'm going to put it yet, so I'm going to leave it in situ till I'm ready to dig it out and plant it somewhere else. It's quite disappointing, it looks very bare. But I'm trying not to think about it, just focus on what I've got to do next. So I'm off to the soil pile to get some soil to fill in these 3 big holes, and then we'll move on to the hydrangeas. All of this soil actually came from the white garden originally. When I lifted all of the turf, I piled it all together, left it for about 3 years, didn't do anything with it, and this is what you get at the end of it. Beautiful soil. So it came out of here, now it's going back. So it's the next day. I was rained off yesterday. And it's dry so far today, although a little bit breezy, but I did manage yesterday to cut back and prune one of the hydrangeas, the Annabelle hydrangeas, and I've relocated it to its new spot. Now I'm going to do the same on the second one. So a couple of things to note. These Annabelle hydrangeas are arborescens hydrangeas, so they flower on new wood, so that's anything that grows this year, so you haven't got to be worried or scared to cut them back really hard if you want to keep the size down, because they will grow anything to 5 to 6 feet in a season, as this one did for me last year. Best time to relocate this type of hydrangea, or probably most hydrangeas, is in the autumn or in the fall, in November time. However, because I live in a milder climate, my winters are very mild here, that window of opportunity extends to mid-February, so that's why I'm moving this today. Pruning wise, I'm going to prune it to about 18 inches from the ground, just above a node or just above a pair of outward facing buds. I'll also prune some of this back hard down to the ground because it's quite a large shrub now. So I'm going to get rid of anything that's flimsy and that's crossing over, such as that one there. And that one. You want to try and have a clear middle, good airflow around the plant. That's flimsy as well. And some of these shoots, and you can actually see where I cut it back last year, which is just here. These are nice strong stems, so I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to keep them a little bit larger. So I'm going to cut just above a node. I do have a few buds coming through on some stems, but not many, so again just above a node. Then this one behind me here, that's quite a flimsy one, don't want that. It won't support a big heavy Annabelle hydrangea flower, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to go right round the shrub in the same format, about 18 inches to 2 feet from the ground, and moving anything that won't support a heavy flower. It's a point to note, you don't have to actually cut back these hydrangeas. You don't have to, it won't prevent them from blooming that year. But if it's a large shrub like mine, it will get unruly and you won't be able to support it. Because these do tend to need a good framework added in the spring so it doesn't flop over. That's basically it. So I'll just carry on cutting this all the way around. So I've pruned it back. This is what it looks like so far. May go down a little bit lower when I move it. I've took it out of this planting pocket, this planting hole, but I need some help to move it because it's really heavy. What I intend to do is, in the planting hole I'm going to move it to, is add some of this mycorrhizal fungi, which helps promote a secondary root system, and it'll help establish this really quickly in the next couple of months. So I'm off to get some help to move it. So it's important when you use this mycorrhizal fungi that you actually put it on the bottom of the roots of the shrub as well that you're moving. So I'll do that too. So I did have to have some help to move the plant into this new planting area. It was really heavy, and I'll water it when I've actually filled in around it. But I'm going to leave the planting of the rhododendron for another time because I've got lots more changes to do here in the White Garden. The biggest one is to lift the turf. I'm going to gravel this area and I'm going to add something big in the middle, but that's for another episode. But for now I thought I'd give you a tour of the spring borders, of all of the bulbs and the flowers that we've got flowering here in mid to late February in my area of the country in Northumberland. And I hope you enjoy it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.